In this segment, Piers Morgan is going to school Roland Martin. Take a look.
Their own citizenship. Now, as it pertains to money being spent, I think this is really significant. We can't be loaning money to other countries to try to make them better when we're doing so at 5 and 6% interest on a $36 trillion debt. What astounds me here is Elon Musk voted for Joe Biden in 2020. He voted against Trump in 2016. This is not some right-wing ideologue going through the federal government slashing like crazy. Whether it's men in women's sports, which thankfully has been struck down, or waste and fraud in government, which is what Doge is focused on, it seems to me that the Democrat Party, time after time, Piers, is narrowing their window of who would they actually represent. They're taking the side of the 20 or 25% of the American public and leaving Trump with full field to go after 75 or 80% of common sense Americans. This to me doesn't feel Democrat, Republican, or independent. It feels common sense. And by and large, it feels to me like the agenda of Trump 2.0 is actually just good old-fashioned American common sense. And it's why he is setting all-time records so far in approval, because the majority, even the vast majority of the American public agrees with most of what he's done so far.
Yeah, you make some really interesting points. I mean, Roland, you can laugh, but the Democrats seem to me the Democrats seem to me to be completely at sea right now. They are rudderless at sea. They don't know where they want to go or how they want to get there or who's going to lead them. And by contrast, Trump seems much more confident in being president. He's got one of the smartest brains in America, whatever you think of him. Musk clearly is that, at his side. He's got an incredible mandate from the public. He had more people from almost every demographic group you could think of vote for him this time round than ever before. And like I say, the Democrats seem to have no real response to this other than to just say anti-Trump stuff. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm missing something, but that's my take on it.
Yeah, you're missing the incredible mandate, 1.6%. It's not an incredible mandate.
They won the White House, the House of Representatives, the Senate.
Okay, but that's not incredible.
They won the Electoral College and won the popular vote.
Piers.
I'm just saying. I mean, Roland, let's be clear. They won absolutely everything there is to win.
Piers, I'm aware of that. Let's also be clear. Biden had a larger margin over Trump. Was it called an incredible mandate? No. Here's the fact. It is a fact. It is a fact. Republicans control House, Senate, White House. That's a fact. When you talk about what is the impact on policies, to the point that Jeffrey was laying out, when you talk about spending those things that happen. Right now, you've got folks in these red states who are, oh my God, what's going on? Rural health centers. When you freeze the funds, what has happened with those federal health centers? When you start talking about farmers who are now, wait a minute, what's going on? What about my soybeans? What about the money what about the $1 billion that USAID was actually buying products from American farmers? And so all these things are going to happen. But when we talk about what's also factual, again, I can't necessarily believe Elon Musk when he says things that are blatantly lies. He posts these things on Twitter as well. So this is very simple. If the things that they claim money is being spent on, this is very simple. Put it out there. I don't want to just hear you say it. I want to see the actual evidence. And here's the deal. We'll wait and see. But I also I cannot wait to see if he has the same interest in the massive spending waste that we see in the Pentagon, where the Pentagon budget is approaching $1 trillion. So please, by all means, identify it. But the other thing is, excuse me.
This is important. Roland's mentioned this twice.
Excuse me.
The Defense Department has asked for Elon Musk to come in, and Trump has said that they want to do it. So you mentioned this twice. They are going to look at the defense budget, which has failed to pass basic accounting.
Notice how he interrupts others when he's losing the debate. Let's continue watching.
For the entire Biden administration and the past 7 years.
And here's the deal. Clay, you can finish your point after I make my point. And what I'm saying is this here. When you look at spending, when you look at what Congress has approved, what I also want to know is, when will Republicans also take responsibility for that? When you talk about, you keep mentioning $36 trillion, how much of that $8 trillion was added by Trump the last time. So if you want to talk about the debt, you have to say who contributes to that based upon their actions. And that is absolutely bipartisan, Democrat and Republican.
Okay, I mean, look, Clay's made the point, and he's right, that they've all said, Elon, Trump, Pete Hegseth, that they're going to go into the Pentagon spending, and they're going to go through that, and I'm sure they will. They're going to go through every department, it seems to me. Rana, let me ask you this. I mean, I think that Roland made a good point there. It's one thing to say you're being really transparent, and that's certainly what Elon Musk kept saying yesterday.
While it's easy to dismiss Trump's mandate as not incredible based on a narrow electoral margin, the reality is that he has garnered unprecedented support across a wide variety of traditionally Democratic demographics. That's not a small feat. You can talk about Biden's popular vote win all you want, but Trump's ability to pull in support from working-class voters, minorities, and people in rural America speaks volumes about the dissatisfaction with the status quo. His messaging, although controversial to some, taps into the frustrations of many who feel left behind by the political establishment. And while you bring up the issue of spending and federal health centers, it's important to note that under Trump's administration, there was a stronger push to rein in unnecessary spending, particularly within bureaucratic institutions, and prioritize American interests. The focus was often on reducing wasteful government intervention and redirecting resources to ensure the American people come first, whether through tax cuts or regulatory reform. Additionally, Trump has consistently advocated for a leaner, more transparent Pentagon budget, calling for cuts in areas that don't serve the nation's strategic interests. And you can't ignore the fact that Trump has taken a more aggressive stance on accountability and defense spending, something that's been lacking for decades. Sure, mistakes happen, but there is a genuine desire to streamline government programs that aren't yielding results. Let's also not overlook the fact that Trump stands firm in his convictions and has a clear agenda, something that cannot always be said for the Democrats. It's a strength, not a weakness, to be confident in leadership, especially when you're challenging the very systems that have created gridlock and inefficiency. Whether you like him or not, Donald Trump's confidence, determination, and ability to directly connect with everyday Americans is something the Democratic Party, right now, simply can't match. If you could give a like and subscribe to my channel, I would appreciate it.